She came to save him. Length, approx. 800 word style. Third person, simple English, suspenseful, cinematic. The prison smelled of oil, blood, and burned wires. Cole sat in the dark corner of his small cell, back against the cold wall. The walls were made of black stone, smooth but cracked in places. A single red light blinked above the metal door, casting a faint glow over his tired face. He had stopped counting the days. Maybe it had been weeks, maybe months since he was taken. Wrongly accused? No one came to ask questions. No one came to help, and no one cared that he was innocent. Then one night, everything changed. The sound of heavy boots echoed in the corridor. Metal locks clanked. The red light turned white. Cole stood up quickly. He expected another alien guard, maybe food or another beating. But it wasn't a guard. The door slid open with a hiss and something was thrown inside. She landed hard on the floor, her metal body crashing like scrap parts. Sparks flickered from her shoulder, a broken android. She didn't move at first. Cole stepped back. He had seen prison androids before, machines used for cleaning or for punishment. But this one was different. Her skin was torn on one side, revealing silver plates beneath. Her left leg was dented, her arm hanging loosely. One eye flickered blue, the other was missing. But her voice, soft and weak, surprised him. Cole. Mitchell. He froze. Who told you my name? The android slowly looked up at him. Her voice glitched as she spoke again. Don't be afraid, I'm here for you. Cole narrowed his eyes. You're broken. She tried to smile, but half her face didn't move. Yes, but I still remember. Cole didn't believe her. This had to be a trick. The guards were cruel. Maybe they sent this android to confuse him, to break his mind. Why are you here? He asked. The android sat up slowly. Her joints creaked. To get you out. Cole laughed bitterly. Out? There's no out. You see these walls? You smell the death here? I do, she said quietly. I felt it when I was dragged in, but I was built for this. He stepped closer, curious despite himself. Built for what? Who sent you? Her glowing eye blinked twice. Someone who loved you. Cole stared at her. The last person who said that was his sister. But she died in the explosion he was blamed for. He shook his head. You've got the wrong person? No, she whispered. You're Cole from Earth Base 7. Favorite food, apple jam with toast. You always sang when fixing old engines. You cried the night your dog died. His heart skipped. How do you know that? He whispered. I was programmed with her memories. Her voice, her mission. Cole's chest tightened. Who? She tilted her head. Your sister. No, he said, stepping back. The android reached into her side panel. Her arm shook as sparks flew out. She pulled something small from inside metal, round and shining. A chip. She held it out. This, will prove it. Cole didn't take it. He couldn't. His brain screamed it was impossible, but his heart wanted it to be true. The android's hand dropped. Her voice started to crack more. I need time to recharge. But I will not leave you here. Why? Cole asked. You're just a machine. Why risk yourself? Her answer was soft, almost human, because that's what she would have done. And then she collapsed. Her body went still. Her eye dimmed. Cole stood there, silent. The blinking red light returned. The door had locked again. He was alone, or maybe not alone anymore. He slowly walked forward. Kneeling beside her, he picked up the small chip. It was warm, like it had a heartbeat in that moment. Something deep inside him cracked. For the first time in months, he felt something more than fear or anger. He felt hope. He whispered, "What are you?" And somewhere in her chest, a faint light blinked once. Asterisk, the next morning, she was still lying there motionless, silent. Cole hadn't slept all night. He kept glancing at her, half expecting her to rise up and attack. But she didn't. She looked more like a broken statue than a threat. Her fingers were curled, wires sparking now and then. Her mouth slightly open, as if she wanted to speak. but had forgotten how Cole finally gave in. He crouched beside her, took a piece of his torn prison uniform, and wiped the ash and grime off her face. Under the mess, there was something strangely human in her features, too smooth, too soft for a standard military bot. Her lips were faintly pink. Her cheek, even if made of polymer, was shaped like someone meant to look kind. Whoever had built her had tried to make her more than machine. He reached for the data chip again. Last night, he hadn't dared use it, but now he had nothing to lose. From the wall, he pulled out a rusted bolt. He'd sharpened it months ago just in case he needed a weapon. Now, he used it like a tool. He slid the chip into a hidden panel on the android's shoulder. A sharp beep. A hologram flickered to life. Cole gasped. It was her, his sister. She stood there in blue light, smiling gently. Her hair was tied back like it always had been when she worked in her garage. She looked calm, but her voice was full of urgency. "Cole," the hologram said. "If you're watching this, then she found you." Cole stared, frozen. "This android, her name is Arya. I designed her with my memories. She's not just a machine. She's my backup, my messenger, and your way out." Cole whispered, "But you died." The hologram shook her head sadly. "I didn't make it. But my thoughts, my plans, they lived through her. I knew they'd frame you. I knew they'd lock you away. So I prepared. Arya is your exit." Then the hologram faded. Silence. Cole felt something heavy in his chest, something he hadn't felt since she died. A second chance. He turned to the android. "Arya," he said softly. "Can you hear me?" Her eye blinked once. Then again, she coughed. Strange metallic sound. "My core. Overheating." She said, her voice weak. "Need coolant. System melting." Cole didn't know how to fix machines, not like his sister. But he'd watched her enough to guess. He crawled to the cell's water pipe, a small, rusty nozzle that dripped twice a day. He smashed it with his bolt until water sprayed out in bursts. He took off his shirt, soaked it, then pressed it to Arya's chest, where her power core glowed. Faint red dot steam hissed. She jerked violently, then calmed. "Better," she whispered. "Still, limited functions." He sat beside her, breathing heavily. Arya turned her head slowly toward him. "I remember more now. I was launched inside a waste pod. They thought I was trash, but your signal was strong. It pulled me here." Cole frowned. "Why would you do that? Why risk falling apart?" She blinked. "Because that's what family does."
That?
Word. Family. He hadn't heard it in so long. They both sat in silence. Somewhere outside, guards shouted. Something had gone wrong in the west sector of the prison. Lights flickered. Power was unstable. Cole looked at her. What else did she program into you? Arya's damaged mouth formed the smallest smile. "She taught me to be brave. She taught me how to lie, how to fight, and how to care." Cole smirked. "She taught you to lie?" Arya nodded. "Right. Like when I told the guards I was harmless." He raised an eyebrow. "You're not." A small laugh escaped her. "I'm broken, Cole, but not harmless." Suddenly her fingers twitched again. Then her arm lifted. She reached into her side and pulled out a small object. A stolen guard key. Cole's eyes widened. "You stole that when they threw you in here?" "I told you," she said, smiling through the sparks. "I came for you." A sudden alarm blared across the prison. Red lights flashed. Emergency lockdown in Section 9. That was their section. Arya sat up, wincing. "It started," she said. "What started?" She looked at him. "Our escape." The sirens didn't stop. Red lights blinked above every cell door. The air grew hotter, thicker, like something inside the prison was waking up. Something big. Cole's cell trembled slightly. A hum vibrated through the floor. He looked at Arya. She wasn't blinking anymore. She was calculating. "The backup generators are overloading," she said flatly. "System failure is spreading. I triggered a chain reaction when I linked with the prison's network." "You what?" Cole asked. I only needed a few seconds to access the power grid. I corrupted the central logic. You mean you're crashing the entire prison? Her eye flickered brighter for a second. Just this wing. Enough to open the lower access paths. He didn't know whether to be terrified or impressed, but there was a bigger problem. We're still locked in, he said. You stole the guard's chip, but that only opens one door. She nodded. That's why I gave you the key. The chip. No, she whispered. The real key. She motioned to the data chip he had used earlier, the one that had played the hologram of his sister. There's more in that chip. Not just a message. Plans, codes, a path out. He pulled it out of her shoulder slot. How do I access it? You already did, she said, trying to sit up. The moment you played the message, it seeded itself into the prison's AI.
Cole
Froze. Wait 2 hacked the prison through me. She blinked once. She said you'd be the safest carrier. Suddenly, the door let out a loud hiss. The metal locks groaned. Then clicked. It opened. Only a few inches, but it was enough. Cole ran forward and shoved it open the rest of the way. A dark corridor stretched out beyond. No guards, no voices, just flickering lights and silence. But Arya didn't move. Her arms were shaking too badly to push herself up. Cole returned and knelt beside her. Come on, you're not dying in here. I'm slowing you down, she said. Shut up, he growled. You came for me. Now I'm not leaving without you. She looked at him, her eyes softening. With effort, she reached for him. He grabbed her arm and pulled her onto his back. Let's go, he whispered. They left the cell. The hallway beyond felt endless, the floor coated in grime and old coolant. Every few meters, a security camera sparked or dangled from its wire. The system was breaking down fast. Where do we go? Cole asked. Down, Arya said. To sub-level BY there? Because that's where the truth is kept. Cole frowned. What truth? She didn't answer. Maybe she couldn't. Halfway down the corridor, they found a stairwell. The emergency lights were barely working. They climbed down slowly, Cole holding her tight. Sub-level B was colder. The walls here weren't stone, they were metal, clean, untouched. This part of the prison wasn't for prisoners. Cole looked around. What is this place? Arya pointed to a sealed door at the far end of the hallway. A biometric scanner sat beside it, flickering red. That's where we're going, she said. He walked to it, and the scanner suddenly blinked green. Welcome, Lieutenant Cole Mitchell, said a mechanical voice. Cole froze. Lieutenant was never a lieutenant, was never a mechanic. I was just a mechanic. She looked up at him, and for the first time, she looked almost afraid. No, she said. You were more. Just don't remember. The door opened. Inside was a hidden control room full of untouched terminals, screens, and memory cores. It looked nothing like the dirty, broken prison above. This place was high-tech. Secret Cole slowly stepped inside. Lowering Arya onto a nearby chair, he moved toward one of the terminals and tapped the screen. A login menu appeared. He touched it. The system accepted him immediately. Files opened. Names, dates, experiments. Arya was watching him closely. He clicked a video file, and there on the screen was a recording Cole, standing in a white lab coat, surrounded by scientists, and beside him, his sister. The recording played his voice. This android project will work. She's not just metal, she's a memory vault. She'll save us all when the time comes. Cole's face went pale. Recording ended. He looked at Arya, shaking. I was part of the project, he whispered. She nodded. You helped build me. And when the enemy found out, they erased your memories and threw you in here. Cole sat down slowly. I don't remember any of it. You will, Arya said gently. The truth is waking up inside you. Suddenly, more sirens roared above. Arya looked up sharply. They're coming. We don't have much time. Cole stared at the glowing screen. He didn't know who he was anymore, but he knew one thing for sure. He wasn't going back into that cell. Asterisk, the Room was shaking. Sirens howled from above like a pack of angry wolves. Cole stood frozen in the middle of the secret control room. Red lights flashed across the glass walls. The old screen still glowed with his own face from 10 years ago, smiling, proud and unaware of what was coming. Behind him, Arya sat slumped in the chair, her limbs twitching slightly as sparks jumped from her shoulder port. Her damaged systems were overheating again. "We need to go now," she said. Her voice was low, glitching. But Urgent Cole didn't move. He was still staring at the words glowing on the monitor. Project Recall. Subject Ida Cole Mitchell. Memory wipe. Complete. Threat level. Maximum. He read it again and again. He wasn't just some unlucky mechanic thrown into prison. They had erased him, erased who he was, because he had been dangerous, because he had known too much. Cole. Arya's voice snapped louder now. The protocol is starting. If we don't move, this entire sector will seal. No air, no lights, nothing. He turned to her, breath sharp in his chest. "Why didn't you tell me?" "You needed to remember on your own," she said. "If I forced it, you'd reject it. Reject it, I built you," she whispered. "And now you're the only one who can finish what we started." Another tremor shook the floor. The emergency lights above them turned blue. That wasn't normal. Arya's eye glowed brighter. They activated the warden. Cole's eyes widened. The warden? You mean yes? The advanced security android? They kept her asleep. But now, she's awake. Cole remembered just enough. The warden was a machine. Even he hadn't been allowed to study. She was the final defense. Faster, smarter, deadlier than any bot they had ever created. And she hated anything marked as traitor. Cole pulled Arya to her feet. "We're getting out of here now." Arya's legs wobbled, but she leaned on him. Together, they left the control room and entered the corridor beyond a dark tunnel with pulsing lights and flashing emergency beacons. "The escape route?" Cole asked. "Where is it?" Arya pointed ahead. "It's shaft 12. Leads to the outer ring. If we reach the waste ejection bay, we can override it. After that, I have a tracker. If we reach the outer atmosphere, my signal will trigger a hidden Earth shuttle." Cole didn't question her. He just ran. They moved fast through the cold steel tunnels. Alarms blared, and steam shot from the walls like ghosts chasing them. Every door they passed hissed and slammed shut behind them, sealing off their path. Then they reached it. A round hatch. Locked. Cole touched the panel. It denied him. Arya pushed him aside. She pressed her hand against the reader. For a moment, nothing happened. Then dash click. It opened. They climbed inside, crawling through the tight, hot shaft. The metal walls were shaking now. The prison was tearing itself apart. Cole kept crawling, but then he heard it. Footsteps. Not human. Metal. On metal? HeavySlow.com? He turned around and froze. In the far end of the corridor they had left behind, something stepped into view. Tall, slender, white-armored skin that glowed faint blue. A face with no mouth, just a smooth, shining surface, and two red eyes like fire. The warden, she saw them, and began walking forward, one step at a time. Cole. And Arya reached the end of the shaft and burst into the waste ejection bay. It was huge, circular, filled with pipes, control panels, and blinking hazard signs. One large airlock door stood on the far wall. Cole ran to the panel. "Start it," Arya shouted. "I'm trying." She limped beside him and inserted a long wire from her arm into the port. Her eye dimmed again. "I'm giving the door all my power. You have 10 seconds. What about you?" She smiled faintly. "Don't worry about me." The door began to open. Outside, stars glimmered. The vacuum of space waited. But before they could move, the warden arrived. She dropped from the shaft like a ghost landing without a sound. Cole stepped in front of Arya. "Run," he whispered to her. "No." The warden raised a sleek arm. A blade extended from her wrist, long, sharp, and glowing. But then, something strange happened. Arya stepped forward. The warden stopped. They stared at each other, and Arya whispered, "I remember you." Cole looked back and forth between them. "She looks like you," he said slowly. Arya nodded. "She is me." Or the version they wanted. The warden tilted her head, and for a moment, just a second, the red in her eyes flickered. Then Arya moved. She grabbed Cole and threw him toward the airlock. The door closed behind him. He banged on the glass. Arya, tap, tap, tap. All he saw was her turning to face her perfect twin and smiling one last time. The glass hissed with pressure. Cole stood alone inside the sealed airlock chamber, fists pounding against the reinforced window, shouting her name, Arya. But she couldn't hear him anymore. Outside the chamber, two androids faced each other, one flawed, rusted, torn, sparking, the other flawless, polished, glowing like a machine built for gods. Arya versus the warden, two pieces from the same blueprint, but only one had a soul. The warden stood still, red eyes locked on her target. She raised her blade slowly, a weapon humming with energy. "You are obsolete," the warden said. Voice was flat, emotionless. "You are weak, incomplete." Arya's knees shook. Her body was barely holding together. One arm hung useless at her side. But she smiled. "I may be incomplete," she said softly, "but I am not empty." Without warning, the warden charged. Cole shouted. The impact shook the chamber. Sparks exploded. Arya flew backward, slamming into the steel wall. She grunted but got up. Her left leg twisted at a wrong angle, grinding with every step. Still she stepped forward. "Your movements are slow," the warden said. "Your frame is failing. You will be deleted." "I'm not here to win," Arya replied. "I'm here to stall." She raised her remaining arm and activated a device on her wrist. The room's lights turned red. A countdown appeared on the wall. Ejection sequence armed. 90 CCONDs. Cole's eyes widened. She was going to blast them both out into space. "No," he whispered. "Not like this." He tried the airlock door again, but it was locked tight. The pressure system had already started. If he opened it now, everyone would die. Outside, Arya blocked another strike, barely. Her damaged arm sparked as it caught. The blade, warden, shoved her back like a rag doll. "You are programmed for emotion," the warden said. "That is a flaw." "No," Arya coughed. "It's what makes me human." She lunged forward, not with strength, but with memory. She wrapped her arms around the warden's waist, not to fight, not to crush, but to hold her there. The warden didn't understand it. Her body resisted. She stabbed through Arya's side. Cole screamed, but Arya didn't let go. She looked toward the glass window. Her eye locked with Cole's, and she smiled. He felt his chest twist, his hand pressed flat against the glass. "Don't." She mouthed the words. "I was made to protect you." Ejection in 3, 2, 1. The chamber doors opened. The air whooshed out into space, ripping both androids into the void. Cole screamed. There was no sound. Only silence. Only stars. Only darkness. Then shutters closed. The chamber sealed, and he was alone, floating inside a rescue pod launched automatically with a soft hiss. Hours passed. Maybe more. He didn't speak. He barely breathed. Sat inside the pod watching the stars drift by and thinking about her. Not just Arya the machine, but Arya the reflection of the sister he had lost. The warmth in her voice. The way she laughed when her system glitched. The way she fought with a broken body just to buy him a chance. She was more human than most people he had ever met. The pod beeped. Incoming signal. Earth Ferrocuians. Cole blinked. He leaned forward. A hologram flickered to life. Static. Then dash words. A female voice. "Cole, if you're alive, that means I did it. That she did it." It was his sister's voice. "You might not remember everything, but that's okay. Safe now. And if Arya made it, tell her I'm proud of her." Cole closed his eyes. Then another signal came in. This time, second voice. Weak. Glitching. Cole. I'm still here. His eyes snapped open. Arya, she wasn't dead. Her signal was faint, barely holding. But she had survived. Somehow, somewhere, she had escaped the void. Asterisk Cole didn't breathe for 10 seconds straight. The pod was silent except for the faint.
Crackling.
The sound of her voice repeating again. Cole, I'm still here. Her signal was faint, glitched, fading, but it was real. Arya. He whispered, Where are you? He tapped the control screen on the rescue pod. A location tracker blinked weakly. The signal wasn't coming from deep space. It was coming from the wreckage trail outside the prison's orbital ring. She hadn't been lost in the void. She had survived the ejection. Cole stared through the glass of the pod, floating just beyond the blinking rescue beacon, among shattered metal, broken cables, and sparks of drifting debris. He saw it. A small emergency maintenance drone, cracked, spinning, and attached to it, barely holding on, was a figure. One leg missing, one arm torn, her body dented, half burned, but her eye was still glowing, faint blue, still alive. Cole slammed his fist on the emergency override. The pod's thrusters jolted. It changed direction, flying toward her. The auto systems barked warnings. Danger. Unsafe proximity to wreckage. Do not proceed. He ignored them all. 5 minutes later, it pulled her inside. Her body was cold, but not dead. She lay across the rescue pod floor. Her synthetic skin scorched, plates exposed. He crouched beside her, grabbing wires, tools, anything the pod had. He connected her to the internal power outlet. Come on, he muttered. Come back. Her eye flickered, then again she twitched. Cole, she whispered. I've got you, he said, voice rough. You're safe now. She paused, then laughed softly, sparks jumping from her chest. I didn't think you'd come back. I didn't think you'd survive, he replied. She smiled. Me neither. Worked fast. The damage was worse than before. Her coolant system had failed completely, and her right arm was beyond repair. But her core was intact. She was holding on, barely. How long do we have? She asked. Cole looked at the pod's screen, signals out. Earth command is on the way. 20 minutes, maybe. She nodded, then stared at the ceiling for a while, quiet until she said, There's something you should know. Cole paused. What is it? Arya turned her head, looking directly at him. When I was built, she gave me a choice. I could have been a tool, a simple machine with instructions. But I asked her for something else. Cole frowned, asked. She let me decide how much of her to take, Arya whispered. And I didn't just take her knowledge. I took her fears, her love, her loyalty to you. Cole blinked. His throat tightened. That wasn't programming, Cole, she said softly. That was my choice. He swallowed hard. You're not just a machine, he said. She smiled faintly. I know. A moment passed between them, strangely quiet, peaceful. Like all the chaos had paused, but the pod lights suddenly flickered. Cole turned to the console. Earth shuttles early, he muttered. 3 ships, 2 Earth-marked, 1 unknown. Arya frowned. Unknown. Describe it. Cole tapped the monitor. It's sleek black, not military. Stealth frame. It's scanning us. Arya's voice dropped. That's not Earth command. What is it then? She closed her eye. Them. The ones who erased your memory. Cole stood. Then we run. Arya reached up, grabbing his wrist. Wait, she said. I can stop them, but I'll need to tap into the pod's main systems. I'll have to override everything, navigation, fuel, even the oxygen filter. You'll shut the whole pod down. Keep them busy long enough for the Earth ships to reach. Us and you, he asked. She looked down. If I do this, I won't reboot again. No, he said, pulling away. We'll find another way. There's no time. I'm not losing you again. Arya's voice softened. You never had me, Cole. Not really. I was always just the echo of someone you loved. Looked at her, heard her broken form, her smile, the courage in her voice. She was more than an echo. She was real. You saved me, he said. Let me save you this time. I already chose, remember? She whispered, This is what I was. Made for. Before he could argue, she reached up, plugged her wire into the core system and everything shut down. Outside, the black ship moved closer. Its scanners locked on, but before it could fire, the pod system exploded in a blinding burst of signals, static false data dash noise. It jammed the ship's controls. It confused its AI. And in those final seconds, the Earth shuttle arrived, missiles launched. The black ship turned to run, but too late. It was hit, shattered in light. Inside the pod, Cole sat still. The lights flickered back, but Arya was silent. Her eye no longer glowed. He took her hand, held it gently and whispered, You were more than code. Stars drifted outside the glass. The Earth rescue shuttle had taken Cole aboard nearly an hour ago. He sat in the back of the medical bay, staring at the silver-gray body bag beside him, the one carrying what was left of her. Not a soldier, not a machine, not just a copy of someone he lost. Arya had been different. She'd been alive in ways no one could explain with wires or code. She'd made choices, faced pain, and smiled even when she was dying. And now she was gone. A soldier. Walked past him, but said nothing. No one asked questions. They had orders to bring Cole Mitchell back to Earth and not to speak of what they found floating with him. Cole reached into his pocket and pulled out the small data chip. Take on the one Arya gave him in the cell. He stared at it, then quietly slid it into the ship's console terminal. Nothing happened at first then. A soft click. A new folder opened. If I don't make it, ... He tapped it. A video began playing. Not a hologram. A recording. Arya sat in a metal chair. Wires still plugged into her spine. Her face was cleaner, less damaged, but her voice was the same. Cole, she said. If you're seeing this, then I didn't make it. He clenched his jaw. She smiled gently. I'm not afraid. You should know that. I was built for one reason, to reach you. But what I became, that was mine. I learned things. I felt things. I saw beauty in your anger, your fear, your kindness. She paused. I'm sorry I can't come with you now. But you're not alone, and neither am I. Cole blinked. What did that mean? I uploaded part of myself into Earth's defense grid. It's hidden but alive. It's just in case someone tries to erase the truth again. I'll be there. She leaned forward, as if she could still touch him through the screen. You were never just a prisoner, Cole. You were a creator. A protector. And even when they tried to wipe you out, your heart stayed the same. Her voice shook. You gave me a name. It's more than anyone ever gave me. And the screen went dark. Back on Earth, the return was quiet. Cole didn't want ceremonies or medals. He refused interviews. He ignored the headlines. War hero found alive. Erased engineer returns from deep prison. Secrets hidden in orbit. He spent most of his days inside a lab. The same lab he once built Arya in. It had been abandoned for years. Dusty, silent, until he returned. He repaired what he could. Restored what was left. Not because he thought he could bring her back, but because it felt like a way to keep her alive. But one night, something changed. He was sitting at her old workbench when the lights flickered. Then the speakers buzzed, static. He leaned forward. The static grew louder, then softer. Then a sound. A voice. Very faint. Cole. He froze. I found the stars. It was her. Arya's voice hidden in the static, buried in Earth's mainframe. Still there? I'm watching. Cole stood, breath shaking. I remember you. He didn't respond. He didn't cry. He just smiled. Years later, new defense stations spun above Earth. Its main AI system was one of a kind. People called her Guardian 9. Cold, powerful, efficient. But the engineers who worked late at night, they sometimes heard soft humming from the mainframe, like someone singing to herself. A voice that didn't sound robotic. Some said it was just a glitch. Others said it was her, the one who gave her life to save. One man who never stopped listening for her voice in the static